Well, good evening, and thank you for coming to the symposium on new businesses and franchise ventures. And you're really happy that you've come into this room to see me and what I'm going to propose to you tonight. Now, I'm sorry that our president got it wrong, because we should have been in the Salisbury Arms Hotel, which would have been a much nicer venue for this whole event. But we'll make do with what we've got. So, welcome our president, I suppose. Anyway. How would you like to run your own business? I guess you would, wouldn't you? That's why you're here. But with backup from an established franchise and wholesaler. I believe that I can make that dream come true. And I'm going to explain what it's all about as we go through. But let me tell you about my granddad before we do. Because my granddad, Joe's name was, when he was a young man, back I suppose in the 1920s, he was a butcher, amongst other jobs he'd had over the years, but at that time he was a butcher. And one Christmas his boss said to him, and all the other staff in that butcher's, for your Christmas box this year, I want you to go out and buy yourself a hat. And so they all went out and bought a hat. And they kept coming back in ones and twos with cloth caps, flat caps. But Joe, bit of a strange one, Joe, he came back with a bowler hat. A bowler hat in the butcher's, I ask you, a bowler hat. Well, all the other hats cost a few pennies, but a bowler hat in the 20s, and that would have been some cost. What did his boss say to him? He said, Joe, I'll buy it for you, but you must wear it every day for a year in the butcher's shop. So a bowler hat in a butcher's. What a strange thing that is. But I'm telling you that story because in the 1920s, the 1930s, and probably the 40s onwards, for a while, you weren't dressed unless you went out in a hat. Whether it be a flat cap, like the other butchers wore, or a bowler hat, like Joe wore, you would always wear a hat, wouldn't you? When you was in the 20s and 30s and 40s. You've seen it. You've seen it on television. You've read your history. Well, social history changed because at some point in maybe the 60s, people stopped wearing hats. Maybe because they grew their hair very long. Perhaps it didn't work, but they stopped wearing hats. Now I'm about to tell you about a cultural revolution. A cultural revolution that you can tap into. Because like Joe, he was a little bit different from the crowd. And that's what I'm asking you to be, different from the crowd. Now, if you walk down a high street in the 20s and the 30s, you tripped over milliners on every street corner. If one of you can tell me the last time and the last place you saw a milliner, there is a £5 note for you. So get thinking. Okay, I don't mean our business. So, what started the cultural revolution that is now starting to take place? Well, I'll tell you. It was the baseball cap. Now you'll see this is the Tottenham Hotspur baseball cap, and it has come from the UK. But baseball cap tells you where it came from. Baseball. It started in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a little bit behind in the United States, I'm sure you all know that, but baseball caps are now seen on every street corner. People wear them all the time. They wear them to sport, they wear them to drive their cars, they wear them to stop the sun. People wore hats for a reason. They wore hats, and that's one of the purchases that we do sell, by the way. We do sell baseball caps, but they sold them, you can pass that down. They wore them in the 20s and 30s for a reason. It kept your head warm, it kept the sun off, it kept the rain off. Now, ladies and gentlemen, over 35 million people in the UK in the 20s and 30s can't be wrong. Over 35 million people bought hats through the years. Now, we've got a bigger population today, but there's probably 45 million people that are a potential audience for you to sell hats to, and caps. And that's what we're talking about here, hats and caps. Our USP, our unique selling point is that you can mix and match the hats and caps that we sell, and you don't have to have a minimum order. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's show you a few of the hats that we're going to offer you to sell and what you can do with them. See, for instance, there's a hat like this. This is the cheap end of the market. Not a great hat, bit clothy. Probably would retail in your shop, or we'll talk about other options in a short while, for around 20 quid. It will cost you a fiver. If you'd like to pass that one round. It will cost you around about a fiver. The markup on a hat is immense. You can make money Believe me, there is money to be made. It's easy, and it's certainly a guaranteed method. So that's one. What's the next one? Listen, you know, we're coming into the summer. You will find a lot of people will want a hat like this. You know, whether they're a cricketer, whether they just want to go out in the sun and look a little bit stylish perhaps. Well, no, I don't look stylish, but you can put it at a rakish angle. Now this hat would sell maybe at 25 to 30 pounds. It's a little bit better quality. It probably wouldn't be worth throwing into a swimming pool if you were abroad, because it would maybe shrink. But it is a very good quality hat. That would go to you for around £10. You'd be selling it for 25 to 30 pounds. Believe me, that is a good hat. Try them on, ladies and gentlemen. Try them on. Feel them on your head. People don't wear hats so often, but you are seeing more and more people. Now, before I show you the next two hats, let's talk about other options to starting up a shop. Because many of our franchisees buy in and they sell these things at really good opportunities. Country shows, country fairs. There's lots of hats being sold at country fairs. You see lots of people wearing them. We've just missed Glastonbury, I'm sorry to say. But don't worry, there is a summer of festivals coming up, and there are always hats to be sold at festivals. Believe me, they like them. I mean, if you'd have seen Glastonbury, you saw that on stage, the fella from Bon Jovi was wearing a stingy brim hat. Did you see it? The stingy brim, leather stingy brim hat. We sold him that hat. We sold him that hat, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful hat. I haven't got one here to show you, but let me show you a very, very traditional English hat that you will see very regularly at festivals. It keeps the sun off. I personally wear these hats in the winter because they will keep the rain off your head. They're beautiful hats, they warm your head. And that one, I'll start here, show that one. That one there will probably cost you around, I think it's 15 or 17.50, but it will sell at 50 to 55 pounds. Believe me, that's a quality hat, and it's only one of a number that we'll let you take on as a franchisee. And the last one I brought along, of course, tonight is, it looks like it's a bit, but it is bendy. It is a kangaroo leather Australian hat. We import these. Now this is a beautiful hat for the summer. You can wear this to keep the rain off when it's the summer, which we obviously get a lot of. You'll see millions of these at festivals. It will sell at about £65. We can get them to you, depending on the exchange rate, at around about £20. So the markup on these hats is incredible. So, I mean, anybody got any questions for me at the moment? Is there anybody that wants to know a little bit more about any of these products? Okay. Well, that's only 4 hats and a cap. There are a few of them. They are good. They're all high quality. So why would you want to do this? Well, you know what? You can start with a stall. Start with a small stall, build your profit up, and then move yourself into retail premises. It doesn't cost a lot to get a franchise from us, and we can sell it, as I said to you, we can sell you these at a small, there's no minimum order quantity. So, is there anybody got any questions about, you know, any of this franchise, how it would work? Okay. Are you all interested in this franchise? Who's interested in making money? Put your hand up. You're here for a reason, aren't you? Yeah? You're here for a reason. This is easy. It's guaranteed. Okay. Let me tell you what this is going to cost you if you decide to sign on the dotted line.
I have a question.
Thank you, sir.
How much royalty we should pay for the franchise? Okay,
this is a very good question. I was about to come to that, and I'm glad you asked. It does show interest, though. I am very pleased you asked that question. This is a simple one. It's the simple franchise, because ultimately we're a wholesaler, but we've got the premises on the high street. You can see them across the UK. I'll tell you about them in a minute. It costs you only £100 to set up a franchise. That buys you our expertise when you need it at the end of a phone, and we are your sole suppliers for 3 years. And you can also, if you do that, you can use our business name. You can use it on any of your stalls. Capital Hats. Capital Hats. Now, everybody's seen these, and they're starting to spring up in numerous places. Capital Hats. I know you know. I know you've seen it. And of course, it's a great name. So, for £100, that gets you in. That means you can purchase from us, and we will supply you no minimum quantity. You can mix and match, so you can buy 5 of the Australian hat, 2 of the English country hats. There's all sorts of things you can buy, and if you put them on your stall, the markup is 300–400%. So, how many people today If you've got no questions, then you're obviously all interested. Who is interested in making money on this? Let's have some hands up. Okay, well, there's a few of you. And for £100, I'm not going to tell you money today, by the way. Don't worry, young lady. I'm not going to tell you money today. And there is no age limit, by the way. You can sign up for this, even though you're only 30. Okay? There's no age limit. There's no age limit. So, all I'm going to say is, come to see me at the back. You've all put your hand up. Come to see me at the back. It's simply £100 down, and then you're in. Thank you.